Most people who train the rotator cuff for better shoulder health oftentimes do it with these banded exercises. And while those can be helpful, there are some limitations to them that we should be aware of. When we train the rotator cuff, what we're trying to do is train these small muscles to better control the intricate movements and the coupling of the movements between the arm bone, the humerus, and the scapula right here. The problem is that when we run out of genuine space to move into, let's say, external rotation, the only way we can get further is to just turn our whole spine in that direction. For internal rotation, it would be the opposite. We turn away. And most people have a lot less genuine internal and external rotation space than they think they have. So a lot of people actually are doing these banded exercises and they're just turning their spine a lot more than they think they are. The other problem is that banded exercises can only provide so much proper progressive overload. The rotator cuff muscles are just like any other muscle, and they require a greater stimulus over time in order to adapt and get stronger. The problem with bands is once they get heavy enough, you end up having to fight the resistance so much of the band pulling you in that you lose the ability to properly move through those relative motions of the shoulder. Both of these things can be addressed by providing yourself simply more external stability, because this will give you an idea of when you're starting to compensate, but also provide you with more support so that way you can genuinely move through the targeted tissues of the rotator cuff. Here's how you can do that. To train internal rotation, you can brace the back of your arm up against the cable machine like this, and now you can move through that genuine range of motion you have access to, stopping at the point where if you went any further, you would have to pop that shoulder forward, which means that you're turning your spine away from that side in a compensatory manner. For external rotation, you have two options. Depending on what your cable machine looks like, you could first brace your arm and the back of it up against the opposite pull and then move through external rotation like this, stopping at the point where if you went any further, you would have to turn your spine towards that side, meaning the back of your arm would slide off of it and you'd move towards more of the anterior portion of your arm, which is an indication that you are now turning through your spine to accommodate that range of motion you don't have. If your cable machine doesn't allow for that, what you could do is take your fist and brace it against the inside portion of your elbow right there. And now you can move through that range of motion, stopping at the point where if you went any further, the inside portion of your elbow would start to come off of your fist, because that would indicate that you are now turning your whole spine towards that side.